again. I would think that, like me, there's some very important people in your life that you're missing quite a bit at the moment. And in their own way, our family in the story feel like that, about some very important people to them. A few weeks after Esme started looking after Louis, Polly went away. She stuffed the freezer, picked an ivy leaf or two for company on the journey, hugged them all, said, "Look after each other, don't forget to sort the recycling," and vanished. Suddenly, the house was different. Max, who'd laughed at Danny's spooky in the summer, now wondered, is it? One day they'd had a power cut at school, and everyone had been sent home early. Max had arrived at an empty house and, looking up at Louis's window, glimpsed a swift movement. Max was no coward. He'd unlocked the front door, clattered his bike into the dark hall, propped it against the wall, and gone straight up to Louis's room. There was Louis's tidy bed pushed under the window, and his row of cardboard boxes lined up against the wall, his chest of drawers, with a neat line of small cars and another of ivy leaves, his shelf of stuff, the unhugged teddy bear and the unopened boxes of Lego from his last birthday, the unpulled Christmas crackers, the intact Easter egg. Everything immobile. Not a flicker of movement. Crash! Went Max's bike downstairs in the hall, and Max turned and raced downstairs. There was no one there either. Spooky? Wondered Max. Abby also felt the change. Theo was working, Polly was gone, and Abby was surprised how much she missed her. At first she thought, feeling guilty, one person less to share Dad, but it didn't seem to work like that. No, Polly meant Theo was extra busy, and Louis was extra demanding of attention. Esme wasn't enough for him. She brought her artwork back with her, and when it was spread out at the kitchen table she became entirely absorbed. Often when Louis bothered her with questions she answered him in French. "You're in London," Louis would protest, and Esme would murmur, "Mais oui." Max made everything more uncomfortable. He stayed in his bedroom, refusing to admit that Esme existed. His silent resentment of her seeped under his bedroom door and down the stairs, and added a shadow to the days. The fox cubs were grown and scattered, and the evenings cold and dark. Abby would have been lonely, except she had books. Books, and also the house. Abby never thought spooky, because she loved it. The glow of the Narnia lamp, the warmth of wood under her hand, the friendly creak of the stairs, her own private room, and the feeling of living in a guarded space cloaked in green ivy leaves. She told Granny Grace, "This house is kind." "My sweet Abigail," Granny Grace wrote back, "I am so happy your house is kind." Granny Grace could email and Skype, and she did, now and then, but more often she wrote letters on thin blue paper, usually with a flower or two amongst the pages. Proper letters that arrived through the letterbox and could be carried around all day, with detailed instructions for the best and only way for Abby to manage her life. "While you have the French girl with you, take your chance and learn the language," wrote Granny Grace. "You will find it comes easily. There are many French words in English. Make sure you get your sleep and your bones will go strong and long." Louis envied those letters. "Abby, couldn't Granny Grace write to me?" he begged. "No," exclaimed Abby. "Was she going to have to share Granny Grace now as well as everything else? Anyway, why? You hate reading." Louis didn't argue. It was true. He wouldn't read, and he didn't read. He detested it, loathed the little black words that crawled like beetles across the pages, hated the way that as soon as he had laboured through one boring paper-covered book, he was handed another, even harder. Still, he longed for a letter of his own. "Granny Grace could send me a flower, like yours," he suggested. "No writing, just a flower. Couldn't she?" No. Louis gave a great sniff and wiped his nose on his hand. He'd caught a cold. No matter how quickly people passed him tissues, they were never quite in time. He sneezed and confined sneezes. Abby searched the kitchen cupboards and made him a hot lemony drink with honey in it. "I might not like it," he said. "Doesn't matter, you still have to drink it." "Can I ride Rocky if I do?" "No, not till your nose has stopped running." "What if it never stops?" "Then you never can. Get on with your lemon. Breathe the steam." "Why?" "Granny Grace always says that." "Tell me some more about her," said Louis, breathing steam so industriously that Abby found herself sharing a little piece of Granny Grace after all. She used to bake cakes on Saturday mornings. I used to help. What sort of cakes? All sorts. Chocolate, orange and lemon, Toto cake like she had when she was little in Jamaica. What's Toto cake? Coconut with lime and spices, cinnamon and nutmeg. Even to name those spices gave Abby a pang of wistfulness for Granny Grace and her spice cupboard, and the smell of toasted coconut, and the small sunny kitchen with its windowsill filled with growing plants. She grew ginger root in a flower pot. We used to wait for it to flower. Did it? Yes. Could we grow it, I suppose, and make that cake with coconut? Not till you stopped sneezing everywhere. Oh, said Louis, sniffing hideously. What else? She would make you do your homework, said Abby sternly. Where's your reading book?